What's up, guys? Welcome back to CMB Bassin. Have you ever experienced the frustration of backlashing while using a baitcaster? In this video, we're going to teach you how to avoid getting backlashes ever again. Alright guys, let's go over the concept real quick of a baitcaster and the advantage of using a baitcaster over a spinning reel. Right here you got your typical baitcaster. This is a loose speed spool. Gear ratio 7:5 to 1, and right here is a Daiwa legendary spinning reel, and usually on a spinning reel we're using these spinning reels for finesse fishing, as in throwing a Ned rig, throwing a drop shot, throwing small swim baits. The spinning reel does have its advantage, but right now let's talk about the advantage of using a baitcaster, guys. The advantage of using the baitcasters, because there's going to be times where you're going to come up onto some thick cover, to where you want to get into that cover, as in flipping grass, throwing into some like a brush or downfall or stuff like that, and you're going to want to, once you catch that fish, you're going to want to be able to get that fish out of that cover as quick as possible. These baitcasters are going to be able to help you get that fish out and get it into cleaner water to where you can maneuver that fish to be able to get it into the boat. Alright guys, let's discuss the common issue that beginners are having with backlashing a baitcaster. And I mean, because you can go out there fishing, enjoying your time and using a baitcaster, and every other cast you're having to pick out a bird's nest. I mean, that just ruins a fishing trip in a heartbeat. And so with you having to clean out a bird's nest all the time, that could turn new anglers away from using a baitcaster. Then they go to just using a spinning reel, and again, the baitcaster does have its advantage of when you do need to use a baitcaster over a spinning reel. So guys, let's learn how to adjust properly the baitcaster, and so you can get out there and be able to catch as many fish as you can. Alright guys, this here is your typical baitcaster. They all look very similar to this, not exactly like this, but very similar. The two things that you are wanting to adjust to be able to quit backlashing is going to be your spool tensioner knob and your brakes. So let's talk about the spool tensioner. What that's going to do is going to put pressure on that spool to be able to allow that spool to free spin or not. So the tighter you have it, it's not going to free spin. The looser you have it, it's going to free spin. So, and then the next thing is your brakes. So how many brakes are you going to be using for this reel or application? And it's easy to adjust here. You just spin it, and you can add more brakes to it or take brakes away. Usually I will have them in between 4 and 5. The heavier baits that I use, I'm going to lean more towards 5, and then the lighter baits I'm going to use more or less the 4. So let's go on and let's adjust them. Alright guys, let's show you how I just tied this shaky head on. Let's adjust it and get it to where we need it to be. So let's tighten this up and see how it's hanging. And so I'm going to loosen it until, just slowly loosen it until it starts dropping right there. Alright, so that's where I want the tensioner, is where it's slowly dropping, and I've got it, it's set on 3 right now. So I'm going to use the brakes and adjust your brakes. Let's put it on 5.5 and let's see we want it to be a slow fall. That right there would be a perfect one for me, because I do like it because I skip a lot of docks. So let's tighten it up just a hair more. Let's go to 7. Perfect. See how it's just a slow drop. It ain't fast at all. So that's how you want it, is to just be a slow fall when you've adjusted. So now you've adjusted your spool tensioner and you adjusted your brakes. So now you should be able to throw this and it not backlash. So let's see what it does, guys. All right, guys. Now that we've got it adjusted to how we want, and so now let's see if we're going to backlash. Look at there, no backlash. You can do this all day long. Just throw it out there, no backlash. All right, guys, another tip to go along with adjusting your spool tensioner knob and your brakes is when you throw it out. I've noticed that a lot of people that are beginners at using a baitcaster will not use their thumb. It is very important, guys, to use your thumb, and that helps with backlashing. So if you use the proper way of adjusting your baitcaster with the spool tensioner knob and the brakes and using your thumb, that is the very best way to keep you from backlashing. All right, guys, if you do those 3 things that I just told you about, with using the spool tensioner knob, the brakes, and using your thumb as the bait's about to hit the water, I guarantee you that's going to eliminate you backlashing. But I'd like to hear from you if you've had any kind of, I want to know about your experience with using a baitcaster, if it's pleasant, not pleasant, and how you've been able to solve your issue. And if you still haven't been able to solve your issue, hopefully this video has helped you out. But if you still have any extra questions, leave it in the comments. Tell me about your experience in the comments, and I will respond to every comment that is there. But make sure you go check out my other videos, and hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video, guys. And hope to see you out on the water and live the dream. See you guys.